You know, we only live one life, and what we do in that life ultimately is up to us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people don't really realize the potential they have and kind of waste it due to, like a fear thing or kind of like a hard work thing of, well, I want to do something, but it's painful to do. But I think a lot of people don't realize that the pain you feel now is going to be a lot less painful than the pain of regret when you're 10 years down the road and you realize you never took that chance. Because,
100%.
Nothing is really guaranteed. That's why I kind of want to talk about in this quick little video that's a non-stop saloon is nothing's guaranteed besides death in the world. Like, that's the only equalizer. The great equalizer, is death. It's just the only thing that keeps us in line. But though it's almost like as much of it's just a sad thing, death is, but honestly, it gives you a sense of urgency. Because, if you live forever, then there'd be no reason to do anything, because you could just put it off forever. There'd be some outliers there that would do stuff, because they're like, oh, hey, I have infinite time to keep doing infinite things, but that's not the point. We get one life. There's only one of us that are ever going to exist. Like, there's only one tonic. There's only going to be one warlock. That, like, we're each a unique individual. And I think a lot of, like, the success gurus get wrong, though, is they talk about, oh, you need to do this, certain steps to become successful. And that's wrong.
In my opinion, success gurus are just scams anyways.
Exactly. Success is not a linear path. Success is a very crazy, weird path. There's no one road to success. And it ultimately depends on what you want to be successful in. Not everyone's determination of success is, I made $1 million a month. Success could be, I made a difference in the community. I woke up today early, and I was able to do a run. That's success to me. The fact that you got up when you didn't want to.
Yeah.
That like, hey, I worked harder than I did yesterday, or I accomplished a small goal. That means more to me than, oh, well, I scammed 1,000 people and I'm a millionaire now. It's like, well, how did you get there? You seen how many people you could screw over along the way? Because that's not long-term success. This is garbage. Garbage don't last. That's not a legacy. And I know some people are against leaving a legacy, but I think a legacy is not how legendary you can be, but what are you remembered for? Like, are you remembered for the...
say people are against leaving a legacy. I think it's more that they don't feel like they could leave a legacy.
That's the problem.
Going down a dark route.
See, that's the thing, though. People think they can't, the legacy you gotta leave is something bad, but you could be remembered. It's like, what do you want to be remembered for? Like, I want to remember. I don't need to be remembered as like I don't want to be remembered as the richest man alive, or any of that garbage, like monetary stuff that is fading away. I'd rather be remembered as a person who always showed up, rain or shine, to help somebody. Who was here to make a difference, not a buck. Like, someone who can be like, yeah, I'm not perfect. But what's to be tomorrow is more exciting than today. That's why I want to work hard today so I can accomplish what I couldn't. And people get a little discouraged because it takes a while. It's tough. Like, especially when you want to do something really crazy. Like, not everyone is out to be the next ultra legendary person, but you can be the best version of you. That should be your goal. It shouldn't be this competition of, I need to be better than everyone else. Unless you're in that kind of competition, like in sports, yes, that's necessary, but not everything is a competition. And I think some people need to understand that. And grind cultures definitely not help that at all, because that's what we've made this culture of. We're all against each other. In all honesty, we should be working together. We're in this boat together. Now, when it comes to actual competition, though, like, I'm not going to deny competition does exist. Like, we'll just pull from an example like football. It comes down to which team wanted it more than the other. it ultimately comes down to that, because some people want to argue it's a genetics thing, how far you go in life. It's like, well, genetics play a role, yes, but if everyone had great genetics, then there would be way more legendary athletes. But what really it comes down to with success is you can have the greatest genetics in the world, but if you don't do anything with it, it means nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I
play a fair bit, but like
it's not the end all be all factor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, someone could be a snarky little jerk and say, well, what if my guy's paralyzed? Like, yeah, is his genetics good or bad? That's like, well, if you're going to be technical, then yeah. But you know what? He may not be able to be an athlete, but the fact that he's not given in despair like the average person would makes him stronger than you.
Mm-hmm. I mean, heck, just look at the number of people that, like, do have those types of handicaps, but still do, like, a whole ton of shit. Like, there's plenty of people out there that have done a whole lot with their lives, while being dealt a bad hand.
Yeah, they didn't care about the hand they were dealt. It's how they played their hand.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why those people are the ones that are leaving a legacy. A legacy not of, look at my, the prideful legacy, but a legacy that's going to endure. That it's like, well, if he can do it, then I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
He looked at his handicaps instead of saying, oh, I can't do anything. He's like, oh, challenge accepted. It's going to be a little harder for me, but it doesn't mean I'm going to give up.
Mm-hmm.
It just means I got to want it a little more, or I might have to change up the strategy. And those people are like, those are the people that make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone thinks that success is determined. Oh, not everyone, but a lot of people like to attribute success to how much money you make. No, I think it's the amount of difference you make. What are you doing for people in your community? Are you making a difference in a positive or negative way? Like, are you being an inspiration, or are you being, anathema to that?
Mm-hmm.
Are you bringing other people down or helping bring other people up? Because you could be the number one football player in the world, but how did you get there? Did you get there by screwing everyone else over? Or did you get there because you worked hard with your team?
Mm-hmm.
Because, a lot of people think it's just about, screwing everyone else over. That's what's become kind of popular, is, oh, you got to screw over everyone along the way. It's just you against you. And a part of it, yes, it is you against you. But it's good to depend on people to an extent, but you should ultimately depend on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
When in a solo setting, you are responsible for your success. You are the determining factor, and that's the one thing I can take away from. I can get anyone to take away from this is you are the determining factor of your success. The moment you start blaming other people and convincing yourself you are not worth it, you have already failed. You've convinced in your head that you're not worth it when you in fact are worth it. You're you are more than the sum of your parts. You may grew up in a bad childhood, but don't let that stop you. Use that as a springboard to be, I'm going to be better than the people who abused me.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone starts out sunshine and rainbows.
But there's definitely a lot of people. The thing that keeps them down is the fact themselves.
Exactly. Or they play the victim. It's like, no, you're not a victim. You're a survivor of abuse. You need to get out of your head that you're a victim. You are not a victim. You're a survivor. And you're better than them. You are strong because of it. As a guy who's had PTSD, it's garbage. I hate having it. It makes me a little jumpy, but I don't let that hinder me down. I can't. Because if I leaned on that all the time, then who would I be?
Mm-hmm.
I would just be I wouldn't be where I am. And what I'm kind of getting to here is chasing your dreams is one of the most important things you can do in your life. And it doesn't have to be the most your dream doesn't have to be, I'm going to cure cancer. It could be just something simple, but people need to understand that the bigger the dream is, the harder the fight it's going to be.
Yeah.
I think people need to understand that going into something, that the bigger your dream is, the harder the fight. And I'm not saying you need to shoot low, but just understand that going in, that if you want to do something extraordinary, you need to put extraordinary amounts of effort in to get that.
Mm-hmm.
Because But don't let the statistics stop you, like saying, don't let someone say, oh, only 1% can make it here. Well, who's saying you can't be part of that 1%? But you need to know you need to put in that top 1% level of effort.
Mm-hmm.
You don't move a mountain by just doing it on every Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like you don't like if you hit an oak tree 1,000 times and in 1,000 different spots, nothing is going to happen. But if you hit an oak tree 1,000 times in the exact same spot, you're going to bring it down. And I think that's one of the main things that leads to success is consistency. Consistency and discipline, which I know a lot of them like gurus, like try to say like you gotta do this, you gotta like make yourself like ultra suffer. And it's like, well, you don't want to get burnt out with success. You do have to want it bad. Like the bigger the dream, the more you gotta want it. I'm not gonna josh you on that. Like if you wanted to be,
also, you do gotta be mindful of your own well-being.
Exactly.
Because, 100%, if you keep striking the same point of a tree, it will eventually come down. But if you're striking it with your bare hand and not giving yourself any recovery time or anything, then you're going to break before the tree, sadly.
Exactly. You need to that's what people don't understand is they're like, oh, but I worked so hard, but I didn't get anything. It's like, well, you're trying to cut a tree down with your hand. Mm-hmm. This isn't, this is a Minecraft, buddy. You're not punching a tree down. You need to work harder and you need to work smarter because you need to. I'm not going to deny if you wanted to be a top level musician, it takes a lot of effort. Mm-hmm. It's not easy. It's very, very tough. It's one of those things because the statistics would say it's like a 99% fail rate, and you're like, oh well, I'm just gonna write it off because I ain't that part 99. It's like, why are you writing yourself off? Mm-hmm. Because what you've done there when you wrote yourself off is you have now guaranteed the failure. They're like, well, I wouldn't have made it anyway. I'm like, see that right there, that attitude. The attitude of saying, I'm not going to make it has guaranteed you will not make it. Because, especially those people younger, get out of your hometown and go try something. Mm-hmm. You have all your life to try this, which some people can, I don't want to leave my comfort zone. It's like, you will die in your comfort zone. That is the deadliest place you can be, is your comfort zone. Now, I'm not asking you to jump in the lion's den and put your fist up, but put yourself in a little uncomfortable place because that's where you're going to find out you're going to grow. You grow in your comfort zone, out of your comfort zone, because that's where you really find who you are is in adversity too. Because when things are going great, well, it's easy. It's easy to be happy-go-lucky when, everything's going great. The job's great. Money's pulling in. Your dreams are coming true. It's easy to be happy. It's a lot harder to be happy when everything's going to crap. It's like, oh, I just got fired from my job. Say you're in a band, too. Oh, my bandmates left me to join a different band. How do you pull yourself up from that? It's hard to be positive in that kind of situation. But
it's definitely possible, but it's a lot more work, which...
Oh, it's horrible. It's a horrible feeling.
To make it or break it.
Yeah, there's
plenty of people that have hit that point and have just decided to turn in the towel and try doing something else.
But I think that's that when something like that happens, it's almost like a test. It's like are you sure you want this? And if you don't buckle, I think then that's when it's like, well, now you can start earning what you were really meant to earn. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to josh you and say, oh, yeah, it's just going to happen right after that. No, there's no time when success happens. It's a very sporadic and volatile thing that it could happen in a day, it can happen in a year. But because there's no time on when success happens, you just got to keep going at it until it happens. But the more times you punch your wall, there's a higher chance you're going to finally break through it. That's what it comes down to is, and it's a how bad do you want it thing, because if you want it kinda, you're not going to get it. Yeah. But if you really want it, you will get it. I can't tell you when you're going to get it, but I can tell you will get it.
The fervor of somebody chasing something like a mad dog is completely different from the fervor of somebody that's just like, it would be nice if this happened, but two completely different energies that
if you go at it like a psycho, you're probably gonna get it. Like, that's as simple as that. If you go at it like your life depends on it, you're probably gonna get it. But if you go at it with I can put it off tomorrow, well, there is no tomorrow. You ain't gonna get it then. Because if you put it off to tomorrow, then that's gonna lead to a snowball effect where now you're fighting an uphill battle. You went from running up the hill to now you're running up a barbed wire hill because you've now made it harder on yourself. It's about your mentality of what you go in with. Because, like, that's half the war. Like, there's the physical war you're going to have. Like, let's say when it comes to, like, bodybuilding. There's that physical struggle of lifting the weights. But then there's the other half of it, the discipline struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Of eating right. Of maintaining consistency of your diet. Doing, like, every little thing. It's a lot of moving parts. And that can be attributed for everything. Of what you do. Like, what you do, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Like, or how you do your job. Like, if you just kind of half-ass something, well, then who's to say you're not going to half-ass your workout? Who's to say you're not going to half-ass a project? But if you go all in on your workout, you go in all of your project, well, then you're known as a guy who don't mess around, who gets crap done. That's awesome. You can be known for that. And I'm not saying, you got to be the Mr. Grindset 24/7. I don't sleep, but sometimes you do have to sacrifice sleep and, comfort to achieve something that's worth it. What's to be is greater than my comfort level now.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I really like. I wanted to make this about because I think a lot of people get the wrong idea of working towards something thinking you need to kill yourself over it. Because, yeah, if you went at it like an absolute, like, beyond psychopath levels of pure insanity, you might get it very quickly, but you might not live to see it. Mm-hmm. Which, if you want to martyr it, well, then more power to you. But if you want to see it, you need to make sure you are alive long enough to enjoy the success.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a difference between sleeping in the morning than going off 2 hours of sleep every single stinking day just to chase something. It's like, I commend your effort, don't get me wrong, but you're gonna destroy your body and not be able to reap the rewards you put in.
Yeah.
But like somebody who, they get up a little early, they put in a little extra time on their workouts or their practice. That's the little things, those little one extras that add up to the big thing. Not the slaving away so much where you just grow tired of it and you grow to hate it.
Yeah.
Because, when it comes to, like, doing something really, really crazy, though, yes, I do agree. You need to do it. You need to do things you hate like you love it. Like training. So, like Mike Tyson, he said he hated training, but he did it like as if he loved it. Because if you want to reach that level, you have to be obsessed with it. You have to want it more than anything in the world. But there's, like, different levels to stuff. Like, how far do you want to go is determined to how much effort you have to put in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you want to be the best in the world, well, then, yes, you have to go to extreme lengths to get extreme results. But I'm not telling everyone has to be, a world boxing champion. It could be something simple as I volunteered on my day off.
Yeah.
You made a difference there.
Honestly, like a really good example of this, or potentially a good example. I do not know if this effort had gotten the maximum output, but I still need to finish the video. But a good example of this, I'd say, is Wolfie Click. Do you know who Wolfie Click is?
I do not.
So they are a competitive Pokemon player. They play the actual Pokemon console games. And I've been watching, before we started this, I've been watching this 2.5-hour video about their journey to Worlds this year. And they were talking about how, like, recently, ever since their first World Champion win, they've been in this slump of going to Worlds and getting knocked out day one. And, like, how he took, like, it was like a 3 to 4 month, basically training course of figuring out the team he was going to be taking to Worlds this year, or last year at this point. Um, and like how he's gonna win worlds. I don't know if he has won worlds because I haven't finished the video yet, but he put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, working on a Calyrex Shadow team, which is a really strong Pokemon that did have a dip in popularity for a second, but Wolfie was like, "Nah, this is like the strongest Pokemon, and this is what's gonna take me to the top." And at least as the point I'm watching right now, he's on round 2 of his 9th game. If he wins this round, then he secures a place for himself in final bracket. And it's that type of like dogged mindset that takes people to reach the point of this almost like I'd say like hard work nirvana that gets them the like tools that they need in order to succeed.
Exactly.
Because like if he didn't put himself through the effort of like making this team, refining all of its bits, even destroying the team at one point, because he did like decide at one point during his training to like fully abandon the team, and with the logic behind this is like if it was something truly meant to be, then this team would find its way back to him, which ultimately in the end it did. Like out of the Pokemon he started with versus ended with, he kept like 4 out of the 6 Pokemon the same. At least as it comes to like the physical Pokemon themselves, the stats and stuff, and like their sets changed up. But the actual Pokemon, he did end up fully like committing towards by the very end. And yeah.
I mean, he wanted it bad, so he was willing to put himself through hell to get it. But like, he wanted to be a world champ, so that's what it takes right there.
Second time.
Yeah. He didn't want to just do it once. He wanted to do it again. He wanted to show the world it wasn't a fluke.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly,
it wasn't just by luck. It was by hard work.
That was his whole motivation for it, actually, because one of the reasons that he said he won back in 2016 was because him and a couple of his friends, because he had a few friends enter in the tournament with the same team, they were using a team consisting of Pokemon that were just like perfect for the meta, but weren't actually like popular in the meta. And Wolfie specifically, if I remember correctly, it was like a Trick Room Parish song theme. Trick Room Parish Trap. That's the coin term for it. And ever since then, he's been trying to basically make lightning strike again, of finding these like unpopular Pokemon that just work in such a way that that like it breaks the meta. But by chasing that high once again, he got into like a real slump about it. Like I said, ever since Worlds 2016, he's been eliminated day 1, up until 2024. So yeah, like trying to chase that fire again, but ultimately realizing trying to chase that same high wasn't going to get him the world. He needed to bet on himself, and that's actually, if you were to go watch the video, that's how he like is talking about it. He's done relying on other factors. He's betting on himself for this tournament. Now
that's how you win.
Not getting help, because he also credits a huge part of his success in this tournament to the fact he was with friends along the way that helped forge this magnificent team and help him get the knowledge about the different matchups and stuff. But like
he bet on himself, though.
It's that mixture of not relying, having friends to help you, but ultimately relying on your own intuition and your own strength of willpower to get it done.
Because, I mean, the people can show you how to do everything in the world, but it's ultimately up to you what you do with that information.
Yeah.
He bet on himself. He's like, I've been handed resources and knowledge. Now it's up to me to use that resources and knowledge.
Yeah.
And he's using that experience. And I mean, you never lose if you bet on yourself, because it's you then are the determining factor. There's no outside. You can't blame anybody then. You can't say, oh, well, I lost because of this. It's like, no, you lost because you didn't want it.
You can still lose betting on yourself, but if you go in with the right mindset, you won't lose again, because you'll be able to learn and fix the problems that led you to lose.
Well, you never lose with that, because, I mean, yeah, you may technically lose, but you're never really truly lost, because you either win or learn. You learn something then.
Of losing the battle to win the war.
Exactly. Because you have to fail to succeed. That's the trick to it. You don't learn anything by winning. Your brain doesn't think, well, it doesn't. Your brain remembers winning and losing. It doesn't remember really how we got there. If it, the steps were we did this to get victory, then your brain's going to remember that.
Well, actually, funny enough, like it's been proven that like the brain holds on to negative stimuli a lot more than positive stimuli.
You learn what don't work, and then your brain remembers what doesn't work.
Yeah, you remember the sting of defeat, and then if you are able to take that sting of defeat and form it into knowledge, that's what gets you to the pinnacle, so per se.
And the trick is, don't blame everybody for your failure. The man in the mirror, the man or woman in the mirror you're looking at, is the person responsible for all your issues.
Not all your issues, but definitely a good 70%, I would say.
At least a 90, because you control how you react to things.
Fair.
Because yes, someone can attack you, but it's up to you to respond.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to, is how do you respond to stuff? Because you're going to lose a lot more you're going to win, but it makes that win feel so much better when you actually do get it. Because, a lot of people, an honest thing I got to say is, the pain of regret for not chasing whatever you want to do in life is going to hurt a lot more than the pain you're going to feel chasing it. Because regret is a different kind of pain. There's there's two types of pain. There's pain that changes you, and there's pain that just breaks you. And regret's one of those that it just tears you apart. And what makes me so mad is some people will convince themselves that it's over when it isn't at all. It's not over. Over means there's nothing left to do. If you're dead, well, then yes, it's over. You're done. But if you're not dead, it's not over yet. That's what makes me so aggravated, is there's these young people who are like, my life's over, man. I failed. You failed once, dude. Get back up and try again. Your failure is not determining where you are, is not where you're going to be forever.
Yeah.
It's not about what happened yesterday. What are you doing today? Yesterday's done. Did you learn from it? Good. If not, well, then learn from it. Look back on it. Understand what happened, what went wrong, and then just push forward again. Looming on the past doesn't do anything for you. You can learn from it, but if you live in the past, you're never going to be able to look forward to see the future and realize you're in the present. That's what people need to understand that.
Yeah, you need to use the past in order to sculpt a better future.
Exactly.
If you just look at the past and just oh, times are so much better back then, I wish I could go back to then. While, it is nice to, indulge in those thoughts from time to time, staying there is not gonna help. It's gonna wear at you over time, just wishing for things to be like how they used to, but, time keeps moving forward.
Time don't care about me or you. It's gonna keep moving forward. And that's, it's a sobering fact of, we have a limited life. And what you do with that life is ultimately up to your discretion. You can do whatever you want in your life. Some stuff, there are consequences for what you do.
Oh yeah, there's always going to be consequences.
There's a consequence for everything we do in this life. It could be something
some
minor.
Some are good, some are bad.
Some are absolutely horrid.
Yeah.
But I think some people just need to sometimes just take a chance.
Mm-hmm.
They take a chance with it. You never know what could be on the other side. Like, if you're thinking about getting out of your hometown and pursuing your dreams somewhere, go do it. Especially if you're young. You have your whole life ahead of you. Why not? Why not go take a chance? You know what's here now. You've guaranteed, like, if nothing's around here, then you know what's around here. It ain't going anywhere. You always can come back if it doesn't work out.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just chuckling because I don't know why. It sounds like that's a familiar talking point. I don't know why.
Maybe we talked about it in the slop saloon. I'm still gonna check it out. But, like, explore the world, like, do stuff. Like, you know, you're the author of your own story. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. It's like, you are the author of your own story. You write it. Your story is yours. And the legacy you leave behind is, like, it's a legacy. Like, what do you want to be remembered for? Like, me, personally, I want to remember as someone who always showed up and that just never gave up. I may not want everything, because, like, that would ruin victory if you won every single time.
Yeah.
Because that ruins it. That makes it just not worth it. But when you get, like, 1,000 failures to get one success, that success just feels euphoric. Like, when you, like, work really hard on something and you finally get it, it just feels so much better when you finally have it in your hands. Because it's like, I earned this, and no one's going to be able to take it away from me. Because that's, like, what you got to do when you want to reach such crazy heights. Because some people, want to talk some big talk. It's like, do you know what it's going to take to get to such a height? It's not something you just kind of just do. Because it's a lot easier to say, I'm going to be a class act musician. It's like, really? Because, I mean, that's a lot of talk, but when you actually go out and do it, well, then it's like, what are they supposed to say now? They going to make fun of you? Which, though, you always have people that are going to just randomly just hate on you because your success is almost like a spotlight on them, saying, like, it's a spotlight on them because they didn't pursue their dream. But who are they to say anything for your effort?
And also, sad to say, but that's also just kind of like the culture these days. Like, no matter what you do or who you are, somebody's gonna hate you for some reason or another. Like, it's I hate to say it, but that is kind of just like the state of the world currently. Like, yeah.
But you know what? The fact that they're hating on you means must be doing something right. If you're a bit successful and people are hating on you, it's like, thanks for noticing my success, because I don't know who you are, but you seem to know who I am. It's like, thanks for noticing, buddy. I appreciate that.
Appreciate you.
Fuck off. Pretty much. It's like, oh, dude. Anyway, go crawl back in the hole where you came from, because some people that were like, oh, I don't think I can handle that. Well, if you don't want them to say anything, do nothing, say nothing, and be nothing. But if you want to be somebody, you better be ready for those people to come out of the woodwork and start just running their stinking mouth. But just know, that if they're running their mouth, must mean you're doing something right, because they have nothing better to do. So it's like, okay, cool, buddy. If I'm bothering that much, then why don't you try to outwork me? Oh, wait, you won't. You're keyboard ranger, got to type all that crap. Well, they'll make fun of you. They're like, oh, look at this guy. He wants to be a class act musician or a boxer or an entrepreneur. Look at this guy, point and laugh. It's like, well, I have a lot more bravery than you ever will, because I'm willing to put my neck on the line for this. And then what are they going to say to that?
Yeah.
It's like, or like when you want to move out of your hometown to pursue your dream. That takes a lot of courage. That just takes a lot, because it's scary. It's horrifying. You're literally going to a foreign place, like even like in the United States, for example. Like you're not going to learn a different language or anything, but you're going somewhere you've never been before. But
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where you'll find out who you really are when you get out of there and starting somewhere new. But that doesn't always mean it's going to be instant success, because it could be you move out and you fail and you have to move back. But don't let that stop you. Don't let the pain of defeat completely demolish you. If you get knocked on the ground, it is your job to get back up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got to get back up if you want it. Because if you get knocked on the ground for a day, that's fine. But if I come back and you're still on the ground, that's on you. But you getting knocked down is not on you.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to be knocked down, but don't sit there and sulk about it for eternity. Because time's going to keep moving and moving. It doesn't care you got knocked down. Because the greatest people who have ever lived were probably just normal people like you and me, who just decided to become extraordinary by just putting in extraordinary amounts of effort. And I'm not talking like, the billionaires out there, because they don't usually get their money by good means. I'm talking about really actual good people who made a difference. They weren't here to make a buck, they were here to make a difference. And I like that saying. Heard that. And it's like, that's what I want to stand for. I want to be known as the guy who made a difference. I'm not here for money. I'm here to make a difference.
Yeah.
I'm here to help people. I'm here to be an inspiration to someone people can look to and be like, hey, that's a guy he's willing to work his bum off for this.
Mm-hmm.
But that's really all I got for this video here. More Slop Saloon on the way.
Yeah, more Slop Soon coming. More Slop Soon coming soon.